In this episode, we leave the BVIs and visit Saba Island. Our original plan was to sail from the BVIs to Saba, on to Antigua and Barbuda, then back to the BVIs. Our Caribbean vacation started Sunday in the airport in St. Thomas. It's a 1-hour ferry ride to Tortola where we cleared in. A short taxi ride took us to TMM where Amnesia was waiting. Monday morning we provisioned and left the marina for Peter Island. Unfortunately, upon hoisting the main halyard turning block broke. There's the blown block. I don't think we really did anything wrong, but this is the third block that's blown on this thing. Fortunately, TMM had enough line and a spare block. Adam from TMM took a trip up the mast to replace the halyard. It's Tuesday morning. We left Peter around 2 a.m. We're somewhere between Virgin Gorda and St. Croix. There's Dennis. He's going to try fishing and catch us some dinner. Got the Quicklys at the helm. The rest of the crew is over here relaxing, enjoying the heat and the humidity. Dennis's first catch. Look at that. Woohoo! That's some good eating. We were close hauled with very little wind, about 8 knots true, which resulted in around 3 knots speed over ground. When the time to waypoint went over 1,000 hours, I decided to drop the sails and motor straight to Saba, and we were not very far off the wind. It's basically straight on our nose now, but now our time to waypoint is about 14 hours, which will get us there around 6 a.m., which is earlier than we need to. It's lovely sunny. I'm trying to keep the sun off my neck so I don't get burned. This shows how calm the seas were. Wind speed was still 7 knots. This is our first dinner at sea. It's near sunset.
Wow, this is great.
Look at that. Tacos. Now the engines are off and we're sailing again, and there's Saba. We made it to Saba. Now all we need to do is go around that corner, find the customs dock, and check in. A very wet 1.5-mile dinghy ride brought us to Fort Bay Harbor where we cleared in. The small, steep island of Saba is part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. We took a taxi from Fort Bay Harbor to Windward Side. We're still in, what's it called? Windward?
Windward Side.
Windward Side. And up there in the clouds, that's Mount Scenery. It's the highest point in the Netherlands. The flora and fauna of Saba is captured on a mural on the side of the community center. Another mural shows Saba's history. The streets are steep and narrow. Is this the view? What? Get out of the way. Oh, this is a much better view of Mount Scenery from here. All right, now back up to the top. The locals call the island Saba, and they told us visitors from the Netherlands call it Saba. All the white buildings seem to have red roofs, white walls, and green trim. There are posters for us tourists giving information about the island. We wandered around Windward Side for a while, had lunch, bought some souvenirs, and headed back to Fort Bay Harbor. There's the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do that.
Oh, okay.
There's the bottom of the bottom. Some very tight hairpin turns are near the harbor. After clearing in, there is the customary raising of the visitor flag and dropping of the quarantine flag. Later today, we're going to go down there to Torrens Point and do some snorkeling. There's supposed to be some caves and a tunnel you can swim through. Turns out Saba is a very popular place to dive. The snorkeling was great, but my GoPro quit working, so you'll just have to take my word for it. That's what I'm going to tell them. My Hero 8 is a piece of crap.
It hasn't always been. It served you quite well.
Well, it's worked for about 3 years. I don't consider that very good. Let's get a close-up of the... Where's the left? There's a good view of the ladder. Before the harbor was built, that's the way all products got onto the island. I guess they hauled them up there and then hauled them across to the bottom. We had planned on spending 2 nights in Saba, but Chris had a family emergency and needed to get home quick. So we left around 3:30 in the afternoon and motor sailed as fast as we could to St. Martin, which has a major international airport. A bit before sunset, Anguilla and St. Martin came into view. We anchored in Simpson Bay a bit after sunset. Chris and Maren left us the next morning.